All right. What you've been waiting for all summer is back. Huge Movie Fanatics Radio on this November 4th, 2021. Northern Hemisphere weather has gotten freaking cold, so that means it's time to bundle up. I don't even have my hair combed. That's the beauty of radio. Bundle up in a thick robe. Don't comb your hair. Make sure you've gone to the bathroom and start the show. Looks like Matt's already here, 37 seconds in. Welcome. Welcome. It'll be interesting to see how many people show up. I wouldn't imagine that many people will show up. Maybe you have to build back up listenership. Maybe it'll never build back up. Who the hell knows? So, welcome, Matt. What the hell you want to bitch about? Obviously, it's not the first radio show in several months over the summer. Beth and I have done a couple Nate and Beth shows, and on Halloween we did a couple shows where we just watched public domain movies. Those were kind of experiments. I guess those really didn't turn out as good as I'd hoped, but you got to try. Yeah, I agree. Matt says he doesn't think I need to read the comments to save energy. The reason I did that was if people are just listening and just I listen to stuff and doing housework and just dicking around, YouTube videos. I listen to them. So the reason I read them was just in case anyone's just listening only. That way they don't need to look at the chat playback or whatever. I think I'll do. I can summarize people's comments. I don't have to read word for word, but I hear you. I agree. Matt says people can read the chat playback. That is true. But I think I've been thinking about that, and I can just do a summary or whatever. But I appreciate that. I agree, because that's probably the most exhausting part of doing this is, my obsessive need to I had to read every comment word for word. Looks like, yeah, Matt agrees. Summary. Looks like you're like shadow banned from counting again, Matt. I'm seeing 0 people here. That's a bummer. You must be bad news on YouTube's. You must be on YouTube's shit list. And Matt informs me I'm the only one who obsessively reads the comments. As I said, it was for people who listen only, but summary works for me. I was so burned out in the spring. I mean, if you got freaking, and then you got like tons of freaking different conversations going, it's like, but we might not have to worry about that if I never build up the listenership again. Yep, YouTube loves Matt. I think, did you talk about that during your last stream? You're some scumbag company trying to buy your neighbor revenge video. Yeah. So I saw you talk about it on the live stream. Yeah. That's creepy. Why? Did something else happen with it? He says nothing happened. He says it never aired, so I'm assuming you sold it to him then, or I'm assuming, and they never aired it. I guess that's kind of a. Oh, I guess I got it backwards. He says no way. Oh, he said he would never sell it. Well, that's why they didn't air it then, I guess. Oh, okay. He says they lied about there even being a show to show it on to try to get you to sell it. Yeah, that's pretty much what the world is full of. I'd say it's 90 or 95 or more percent lies. Yeah, I'm probably being gracious there. Maybe 99% lie. Maybe even, well, at least 99% lies and probably not 1% truth in this fucking world. But yeah, Matt agrees. 99. It's funny when I was just doing that, it was like, God, yeah, this is not realistic. I got to go to 99. Well, if I can briefly, I know Matt's not big on talking movies, which is fine, but since this is a movie review channel, maybe I'll just talk about something. It looks like, believe it or not, after I don't know how many failed attempts to get Ghostbusters Afterlife in the theater, looks like it might actually freaking happen. And unlike so many movies that have been released this year, it's kind of both theater and streaming. I guess it's exclusively in theaters, which I guess will be a test for them. But we're seeing more and more clips and stuff. And I got to tell you, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the scenes are kind of well done, but I got to tell you, being 44 years old and seeing these little freaking kitties with the proton pack and the traps and stuff, it just like, give me a break. It don't, it doesn't really do much for me. The teasing about, Dan Aykroyd answering the phone, that kind of stuff gets me interested. As I think I said in a previous show, the only thing I'm interested in is just the original Dan Aykroyd, what's his name, Ernie Hudson, and Bill Murray's participation in the new movie. Then there's from the look of clips and trailers and stuff, it looks like there's a big huge scene that takes place at Fascist Mart, kind of little advertising with the Stay Puft marshmallows that go come alive and wreak havoc on the store shelves. It's just like, come on, man. So yeah, I'll probably wait for video on Ghostbusters Afterlife. I don't really have no interest really in going back to the theater and experiencing what they've turned into. I didn't even like the theater before last year. Yeah, Matt says Afterlife will be woke trash. I know. Yeah. Um, honestly, the more I'm seeing of it, the more the female Ghostbusters seems almost better. And what's weird about movies now, like the most recent Halloween ones from 2018 and this year, and Ghostbusters Afterlife and stuff, it seems almost like they're made by fans so much of the originals that I'm not sure all these, paying homage to movies of the past, like the two recent Halloweens do, and looks like this Ghostbusters movie does too, almost like fan service scenes just to be like, oh boy, like the mini Stay Puft marshmallow scene. It's just, and even some of the like, music cues that kind of sound like the music from the first film and stuff. It's like, on one hand, it's kind of cool, but on the other hand, it's like, God, you're just taking, you know, elements from the good movie, and I don't really know how to put it into words. Yeah, Matt agrees about the inconsiderate people in movie theaters. He probably was annoyed with theaters before last year happened as well. Oh, that's exactly it. I hated the assigned seating. I talk about it way back in, was it 2014 when Captain America Winter Soldier came out? I talked about that in my review of that, I think. The assigned seating, either that or some theater employee was coming around trying to sign people up for the, rewards program, and it's just like, it was just so hellishly corporate experience. It was ugh. I think I bitch about that in my review of Captain America. I want to say it was Winter Soldier. Did that come out in 2014? Go back and watch my review of that if you want to hear me bitch about the corporate theater movie going experience. And yeah, the assigned seating shit. Yeah, Beth and I years ago went to see a digital screening of Friday the 13th, 1980, and we ended up sitting next to, the theater was almost empty, but we ended up sitting next to people we didn't even know, and they put the chair back like they're at home, and it's just like, I bet so many, fat people just fall asleep in those lounge chairs in these, lay them back and fall asleep and start snoring. I don't know why we didn't move. Um, I don't know why we didn't move to an empty seat, but I think, yeah, I have no idea. But I really didn't like the corporate movie theater experience before last year, so it's just as well. I'm seeing two hitchhikers. Maybe they're both from Matt, maybe not. I'm seeing two listeners. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Yeah, the assigned seating shit. Oh man, I saw that comment from Matt, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. We had an independently run first run theater. Well, it's still there around by us where we primarily went, and until last year or this year or however the hell it went, they didn't have assigned seating. So that was kind of the last theater we went to, and because of last year and this year, they turned into assigned seating. So I think that's, that combined with what last year and this year's become was pretty much the nails in the coffin for the movie theater going experience for me as well. Right. Matt talks about the dine in. I think I might have talked about that in my Winter Soldier review as well. The dine in, the theater's trying to more people having bigger screens and theater sound at home. So the theater's trying to, the never ending battle of, the theater's trying to get people to come to the theaters. Now we'll have, theater dining, recliner seats that are even more comfortable than your recliner at home. And I don't know. I don't think it's really that expensive to have. I mean, pretty much everyone has a big screen now, and even projectors aren't really that expensive, and, a decent surround system and stuff. So, I mean, if you can almost pay for, like a projector and a decent surround system by just, not going to the theater for a year and getting the concessions and shit. Exactly. Oh my God. When they ripped out the perfectly good theater seats at this corporate theater we'd been going to and put in recliners, I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, over the last several years, like I'd say, I don't know if it was 17, 18, and 19, the corporate theater we had been going to just was just like, oh my God. So we pretty much primarily went to that independently owned theater until, of course, last year, and then that was all she wrote for that. Sounds like Matt's last good movie theater was a classic AMC that never converted to the more recent BS. Yeah, it's like, oh, pretty much all the change that happens is for the worse. There's one thing that I noticed this year, that they actually put like a drinking fountain on the trail, pretty much very close to where I turn around. And I just noticed they must have put that in this year. I didn't notice it until like the very end of biking season, and I was like, holy shit, this isn't a change in the world, that is actually a positive change, like a drinking fountain, where you can fill up your water bottle and stuff right on the trail, very close to where I, turn around to go back. That's a change that is actually a decent one. I can live with that. So like for every fucking 500 or 1,000 changes that are negative, there's one positive one. Oh man. Matt says the bigger C ruined that theater experience, and now it's closed down. Yeah, the theater um, that I was referring to, that's by us, that was the first run theater that was locally owned. Last year was a disaster for them because I'd look at the website and stuff. There were periods where they'd open for a few days or like the weekend, and then they'd be closed all week and open for the weekend, and it was just like on and off where they could open, and then because of local quote unquote fascist policies, they couldn't open. So it's like, we'll let you know on the site when we can open again. Then they'd open, and it'd be like, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And last year was such a disaster for movie theaters. But as I talked about, it was actually kind of an improvement for the drive-in theater because the capacity was cut in half, which means the cars aren't packed in there so much like sardines. And because not a lot of movies were being released, they were playing old movies. So the drive-in theater last year was actually a better experience. This year it went back to halfway through the season, it went back to full capacity. And it was just like, oh, I felt so crammed with cars right next to you and playing current movies. It was just a drag, not to mention this year was like our worst experience with inconsiderate, fellow patrons and stuff, and their loud music that no one asked to hear and stuff. And just, yeah. Welcome to the bitching hour. Huge movie fanatics bitching radio. Maybe I should change the name of it. So when you're talking about these microphones to measure decibels, are you talking about the noise of the the viewers to somehow punish the viewers if they get too loud or something? Someone gets pinged. That reminds me of Hunt for Red October. Give me a shingle ping, please. Oh, okay. So where went to movies, you just must have had a lot of unruly experiences with fellow patrons. Yeah, that was never a huge issue in the indoor theaters for us, but the drive-in this year was a disaster. Seems like more and more white trash people find out about the drive-in as the years go on, and it's less and less decent people that go. So Beth and I actually just recently had a conversation. She said, "Do you think we'll even go to the drive-in next year?" I'm like, God, I really don't know. Maybe once. Matt says, hell is other people, as they say. Okay. Matt, did you do both of the hitchhikers, or was it someone else that showed up and hitchhiked and bailed? So the only way Matt would do a drive-in is if he had some really nice car with a great sound system. I'm assuming you just have the windows up to drown everyone else out. Kind of defeats the purpose of the drive-in, but I hear you. Go to the drive-in and bring a soundproof bubble and a little surround system. Oh wow, Matt didn't do any hitchhikers yet, and there's two. Interesting. Huh. Matt would do a drive-in, windows up on super luxury car with amazing sound system at a drive-in. Well, in the old days, the thing that we used to love about drive-ins was the kind of people and people watching, but now people have just become, I mean, I guess it's not everyone. It just seems to be, we get one jerkwad right in front of us or something. It's not like everyone there is an asshole, just the people that end up right next to us. But It was a bummer how both of our drive-in theater experiences this summer were crap. Matt just won what? It's ruined. Just won what's ruined. Oh, just one asshole. Yeah, that's all it takes. One asshole or one car of assholes. Yep. Well, that worked well, my little segue into actual movie talk. So we've gone from bitching about whatever to bitching about movie related stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how many people show up. I've seen, now it's a steady one, and I've seen the counter go up to two, and now it's back to one. So we've been up to two so far that I've seen. Yeah, Matt says same with anywhere you go around people. Just one bad neighbor can ruin the neighborhood. One bad coworker and your job sucks. List goes on. Yeah, I worked at a place that I didn't hate for I think nearly 3 years, and we got a new manager that was a piece of shit, and I walked out. Pinhead Media Fantastic says hello, welcome. I don't think I've ever seen you here before. Welcome. Yeah, Beth and I went for a walk recently and had a kind of a negative experience with the dog owner. And it's just like the dog was not on the leash, and yeah, I don't really want to talk about it, but I was just reminded of it's like you go outside your dwelling and it seems like you're doomed. Physical Media Fantastic says I'm new, love your channel. Well, thank you very much. What do you love about it? I take it you've seen some of the videos I've done showcasings or reviews. Yeah, I mean, since the last time I did a huge movie Fanatics Radio, just solo, I was under 500 subscribers, and now I'm up to like a whopping 508. I was up to 509, but I must have said something wrong. Oh, I did snap. Matt says he almost snapped like a psycho at some lady who had two barking dogs running up to me. I did snap at this guy. I carry this. My grandfather used to find these by hockey rinks. He used to find broken hockey sticks. So my mom's dad used to turn broken hockey sticks into walking sticks, and I've got several of those, and I use those as a quote unquote walking stick, which is actually protection for any possible dog situation. And the dog was approaching us, and I raised it up to kind of hint to the dog and you're not going to go any further past this stick. And the owner was like, I don't know what you're doing with that stick. And I said, I'm fucking defending myself. That's what I'm doing. Physical Media Fantastic says I'm knowledgeable. Well, thank you. I try. I mean, it's only because I'm a fanatic when it comes to movies. I don't know. Sound like quite the complimenter. I get suspicious when someone's so nice and complimentary. But don't take that the wrong way. Welcome. And any particular video or anything you've seen on the channel that you really liked, especially comes to mind? Yeah, the experience Beth and I just recently had with the dog owner with the dog off the leash was the worst one I can remember having in a long time. it was in this the thing that really sucked is it was in this wooded area where the walking area had, like, the woods we hadn't walked this area in a long time, and they've become so overgrown, and we had there was nowhere to go. We had to basically walk. The path was, like, just as wide enough for a person, so we had to go right past this guy and his Hund. That's German for dog. It's kind of my derogatory name for dogs, Hund. And it wasn't a pleasant experience. Like, if it happened just out on the sidewalk or something, you could cross the street or whatever. Yeah, Matt says most of these people are psychos that just get off on their dogs intimidating people. I think that's what it is. Years and years and years and years ago, I was at a boat launch, and their dog, they were getting in their boat and their dog was running around. I biked to this particular lake and boat launch, and I was standing there, and the dog was coming up to me, and I was like going away, and the guy yelled from the boat, "You pussy, you ain't gonna do nothing." And I'm just thinking to myself, nice guy, nice fucking guy. Physical media fantastic says, I subscribe to your channel for a reason. It's fun listening to your movie going experiences. I'm glad. Oh, here's another movie related thing. I recently, I think it was last week, I did a review of, I've been interested to see it for years. It only came out a couple of years ago, but I finally saw for free I Spit on Your Grave, Deja Vu. I'm a huge fan of the original film from 78. And without ruining the review, I'll just say that, oh my God, I'm glad I saw it for free. But that review I still have to cut and upload maybe next week if anyone's a fan of I Spit on Your Grave from 78. I was really intrigued by the movie, and how it's almost 2.5 hours long. I was like, why? It's rare that such a low budget movie will be that long, and I'm like, why is that? And well, as we found out, there's really no reason why it's so long. It's probably, I mean, yeah, I can only assume, like, when you're shooting digital, I mean, it's not like at every second to second it costs money like with film, so you can just keep filming and filming and filming, and or I should say recording. Oh, I talk about it in my review, which might go up next week. I'm behind on uploads, but it'll get up, the review that is, at some point. But I'm a huge fan of the original I Spit on Your Grave. I think it's one of the most viewed reviews on this channel. It's funny because Matt and that's back when I used to do movie reviews with the guy I started the channel with. And it's funny how we're on complete opposing sides. Like, he didn't like it and I loved it. So it's an interesting review because it's complete opposing sides and viewpoints. It's kind of funny how we reviewed the original Last House on the Left and Spit on Your Grave back to back, and because Last House on the Left was Wes Craven, basically more or less the same thing. I mean, because Last House on the Left was Wes Craven, Matt kind of praised it. If you have a rape movie that Wes Craven did, Matt likes it. If some no name does a rape movie, he doesn't like it. It was kind of interesting. I should have called him out on it during the review, but whatever. Physical Media says, you like Spit on Your Grave. These movies tend generalizing men as rapists. Well, I guess you got to watch the review of it. I mean, there's in my opinion, there's more to the original movie than just men being rapists, but we all can't like the same thing. Uh-oh, am I going to lose another sub? I mean, it's not like I enjoy it for the rape scenes or anything like that, but I just like its kind of uncensored showcasing of something And let's be fair, the original movie, I think we talked about this in the review that the rape scenes are a little over the top, I think in a way to possibly I can't tell if it's if it's a to make the rape scenes worse or not as bad. They're so over the top that it almost takes the edge off it. I think the rape scene in Last House on the Left is a lot worse because it's more realistic. Matt says it's called equality, people. Well, right. You, in regards to the original Spit on Your Grave, you have to have the bad shit happen so you can justify or give a reason for what she does to them. And the worse, she gets it, the more you enjoy what she does back to them. So it's just amazing how I regard the first movie as is quite the accomplishment. And the same guy 40 years later does this absolutely worthless piece of shit, but it doesn't take away for me from the original movie. It's just a shame that, yeah, that he did it, but it's okay. Oh no. Physical media says that's it. I unsub, just kidding. Well, I'm seeing 3 listeners. Welcome everyone. And having done quite a few fan commentaries over the summer, I talked about this, I think, in our the last Nate and Beth watching of scary movies on Halloween. Having done a lot of fan commentaries with no chat over the summer, I think I finally realized that I always thought that maybe the one on the counter was like myself or a pity number or something like that. But having done a lot of fan commentaries with no chat over the summer, I think I figured out that that the counter is actually the people listening, because for the most part doing the fan commentaries it was just a zero over the summer. So the reason I stream the fan commentaries is just it's easier. It'd probably take a lot longer to upload a 90-minute audio recording than just to stream it, with my internet. So it's just an easier, quicker way to get the commentaries up on YouTube. Oh, physical media fantastic asks if I would rank the Halloween movies. I mean, I could probably just yeah, I could probably just do that now. But I could do that, seeing as how it's Halloween is only 360 days away or so. Never too early to talk about Halloween. I could probably do it right now as well. If you want to hear it right now, let me know. Matt says Halloween Kills was the best. Evil dies tonight. And I think he's being I think he's being, what's that word? Sarcastic. But I don't even know how to say this guy. I'm seeing a new person here. Bio in get no says my comment disappeared. Uh-oh. Yeah, before I started this, there was actually a thing that I never noticed before about, hide potentially inappropriate comments or do this or that, like a way to actually change the settings of the auto censorship. And I switched it to accept or to show all comments in hopes that would solve that problem. Apparently not. Okay, Media Fantastic wants me to do my rankings. So basically, for me, it goes the original movie from '78, and then that's the first sequel from '81, and then I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I guess I think that the first three kind of are ranked for me in that way. Like I like the first one best, second one second best, third one third best. Um, I guess it gets a little tricky after that. I guess I probably like 4 fourth best, but after that, I probably like the 2018 movie the best after the 4th one. Either that or Halloween Kills. It's probably a tie between the 2018 maybe Halloween Kills I like more than the 2018 movie. So it's the first one, second one, third one, and then fourth one, and then probably Halloween Kills, then Halloween 2018, and I don't know where the hell it goes after that. I don't really like anything after Halloween 4 unless it's Halloween 2018 or Kills. I used to watch 5, 6 and stuff like that and beyond. I mean, watching back in the day, I remember H2O was kind of fun, but watching that now and that horrible mask and shit is just so that's my lazy ranking. Yeah. Oh, looks like Will Powell's here. Welcome, mate. Been a long time. Welcome, Will Powell. Matt's praising Halloween Kills, and I'm not even gonna say out loud what he wrote about one of the things he loves about it. Physical media, fantastic. Says for me, 1 through 4, rest is garbage. Yeah, I can agree with that. I just, for me right now, I do, I appreciate the good things about the most recent 2 Halloween movies, and I try to ignore the bad stuff. What I do appreciate about them is just having John Carpenter back for music, and Michael's portrayal is really good. So, as much as, let's face it, the most recent couple Halloween movies are crap, I do enjoy the few elements about them that are enjoyable. Yeah, for me, I think last year was the last time I watched and may ever watch Halloween 5, and the last time I watched Halloween 5, 6, and, like, beyond, not including 18, of course, and Halloween Kills, I just said, I don't know if I'm never gonna watch these movies again." Matt says, "I thought the Rob Zombie ones were decent. I know Nate hates them." I actually, if you I imagine I reviewed them. I hate the first one. I actually liked Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 more, and I would imagine Matt and I reviewed them on this channel. But there were elements about Rob Zombie's Halloween that I liked, but I just hated the overdone, just white trash aspect. Of course, that's going to come with any Rob Zombie movie, but I wasn't a fan of that. But I don't hate everything about those movies, but I don't really watch them anymore. For me, the Blumhouse ones kind of replaced the Rob Zombie. I'd rather watch the Blumhouse ones than the Rob Zombie ones, but I don't hate the Rob Zombie ones as much as like 5, um, 6, and H2O and Resurrection. For me, Resurrection is like unwatchable. Matt asks if I enjoyed my last summer. Like this past summer. Are you calling it the last summer because you think it might be the last summer of any kind of normality? Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I tried to suck in as much summer as let me reword that. I tried to soak in as much summer as possible, because you never know if it's going to be the last one. So I tried to soak in as much summer as I could, and I enjoyed it to my best of my ability. Beth and I tried camping a couple times, and I'm of the opinion camping is overrated. I mean, I guess if you're camping in close proximity to people, maybe if you go out in the middle of nowhere by yourselves, it might be better. But at a camping place where you've got neighbors and shit. Once again, anywhere with neighbors, you can pretty much expect to have your day ruined or night or whatever. But yeah, I'm not too sure camping is my thing. I'd rather be in a comfortable mattress with and not be either too cold or too hot. Yeah. Will Powell says it has been a long time. He's just been busy. That's understandable. Adulting isn't easy. Media fan. Oh, have I been saying fantastic? Media fanatic says, how about sci-fi genre movies have favorites? I mean, the first Alien really comes to mind, I guess. I like a lot of B sci-fi stuff like Creature from the mid 80s, and those are fun. I almost have more fun with the cheesy Alien slash Star Wars ripoffs than the original movies, honestly. But yeah, I'm definitely more of a horror fan than sci-fi, but I mean the original Alien definitely comes to mind comes to mind, and obviously 2001 A Space Odyssey, in a lot of ways the mother of all sci-fi movies. But and being a child of the 80s, I'm a big fan of the original Star Trek movies with Kirk and Spock and Bones and stuff. So yeah, there's definitely a place for sci-fi, and I'm a big fan of the 80s movie Explorers, as you guys may or may not know, having seen it in the theater and stuff. So yeah, I mean, sci-fi. What's cool about sci-fi is like if you take a movie like Alien, it can be a mixture of sci-fi and horror. So, and another fun one that's really fun I haven't seen in a while is it's a Roger Corman one. I can't even remember the Galaxy of Terror. That's kind of fun. And obviously, it's the other one, which I recently bought the DVD of, thinking the Blu-ray was expensive and out of print, only that to find out that it was just temporarily out of stock. But it's okay. The DVD looks good. Of what the hell is it called? It's basically the softcore porn Roger Corman space movie, Forbidden World. Like I say, I almost have more fun with the B sci-fi movies than the A ones, but I guess that's my answer to the sci-fi thing. I'm not so much of a fan where I can just name, just continue listing off sci-fi movies. But I'm sure if you mentioned a bunch, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's great. Oh yeah, that's great. Oh yeah, that's great. But I'm generally a horror guy. But there's definitely a place for sci-fi, and ever since I was a kid, I've always just loved the visual effects. The space shots, and in particular, like take a movie like Alien and just the amazing, awesome production design of the interior of the ship, and same with the movie like Outworld. Is that what it's called? Outworld? Is that the one with Sean Connery? Um, has the same feel of like Alien, and just that really cool futuristic production design and the Jerry Goldsmith music and stuff. Really good fun times. Yeah, Matt. I wish Matt could have told me this before this summer, but that's okay. I probably would have. We probably would have tried it anyway. He says never go to a campground with neighbors. It's the worst experience. Beth and I did it a couple weekends last year in September, and it was probably because it was kind of the end of the season. But it was actually, we just slept in the SUV, and it was actually not that bad of an experience last September in 2020. But yeah, this year we did it in the summer, and the experience is, well, yeah, the first one was at a campground with neighbors, and the second time we rented to like but three times the cost, a group site to be away from people. And the people didn't bother us, but the weather, it was like 100 and it felt like 150% humidity, and with a low of 90 at night. I was just basically trying to sleep in a pool of sweat. So that was not fun. I'm not good with humidity. Oh shit, we lost a bunch of listeners talking about my pool of sweat. I don't know if we lost Will Powell, but if we didn't, how was your summer? And any plans on, I don't know if we've still got Will Powell, but if we do, any plans on like an actual album? Oh, that reminds me. I don't know if I'm going to lose a lot of subs when I talk about this. Chances are I will, and I might. Yeah, people might question my. I don't know. It doesn't matter what people think, but tomorrow, I hesitate to even mention this. Tomorrow, yeah, I don't know if I should even mention it. I don't want to lose. Go back to 200 subs. Self-censorship. Self-censorship. I don't know. Do you want me to mention it? Matt says, well, let me look at this and I'll summarize. Oh, okay. Matt's of the opinion 21 this summer of 21 was maybe worse because people were locked up for a year. Not that they had to be. It was like self-imposed, but whatever. I wasn't locked up last year, but he's of the opinion maybe people this past summer were maybe more assholes because of being locked up the previous year. It's possible. I mean, they've got humanity more divided now than I think they've ever been. It's really unreal, and it's scary to think. I don't really want to get into it, but scary to think where we're headed. But it's possible. I mean, I think it's fair to say that people on the roads, people just in general, I don't know, they're really just really, and you can understand why they're just miserable this year and fed up, and it's not like they don't have a reason, but it's yeah. Let's talk about movies. We may have lost Will, which is fine. I was talking about lying in a pool of my own sweat, so maybe that wasn't very interesting to him. Oh, looks like Will's still here. Yeah, Matt's not, or not Matt. Will Powell's not a fan of Halloween 2018. He says he found the humor really off in it, and I agree. I mean, the bullshit attempts at humor was bullshit in 2018. That's one of the other things I like more about Kills is I didn't seem like they tried to be as cute and clever with shit in Halloween Kills as they did in 2018. But then they did that whole debacle, which I absolutely despise, with the that other inmate and the mistaking him for Michael and the big mob scenes, and it's just like, oh my god. So I'd almost rather take that pathetic attempts at humor in 2018 over that mob scene aspect and bullshit of Halloween Kills. But what you gonna do? Like I say, when I get the Blu-ray, I'm just gonna be skipping all that mob scene shit. Oh, did you see Halloween Kills, Will? That reminds me, I have to unsubscribe from Peacock before I get billed again. My plan was to just pay $5 to see Halloween Kills and cancel the membership because you can see a lot of the stuff on Peacock for free with ads. Oh no, Matt's going crazy with my favorite phrase from a movie, almost like a troll. Will Powell says, "What's the big secret then, Nate? I'm not exactly sure what you're even referring to. Matt spams Evil Dies Tonight. He's impersonating a troll." Man, Bio Ingen no says mob stuff reminds me of a new wrong turn. Is that what happened in the new wrong turn? I never I won't see it. I had I think it was Iron Rooster who had seen that and just called it unsurprisingly garbage. So I don't plan. I'd see the new wrong turn for free on streaming, I guess, but I don't plan on paying for it. I think Matt's caught in one frame of mind here with his Evil Dies Tonight. I don't know if Matt meant to type, if you think I'm being annoying, then watch. Oh, okay, yeah, Halloween Kills. There's a similar. Oh wait, that's Bio. Oh, okay. So it sounds like there's a similar kind of thing in the newest Wrong Turn to the similar message in the newest Wrong Turn that is in the Halloween Kills. Okay. I see. Will Powell didn't see Halloween Kills. He's decided he's just going to do the first three movies from now on. That's all he needs. Yeah, I hear you. I got to tell you, I watched three, one, two, and three as well. And when I don't know, maybe I was just in a bad mood. This week hasn't been very good. But when I watched Halloween 3, I think I watched it on November 1st. I think I was just in a bad mood, but it didn't really do much for me. For the first time in a long time, I'm like, I don't know. But I think I was just in a bad mood, which I may never come out of. Yeah, I mean, obviously you're not missing much by not seeing currently produced and released movies, but there are aspects to Halloween Kills that were kind of fun from a geek standpoint, like the 1978 retro footage and stuff. Okay, I think I'll just call you Bio for short. He says Wrong Turn had a very to the left message, if you know what I mean. I'm actually don't know anything about the I guess I don't know what you mean because I'm not up on the stances of the right and left because I don't pay attention to right and left. I'm not a part of either sides, so I don't even know what each side stands for. It's all about division at the end of the day, but I don't know what left means. Oh, okay. Will Powell wants me to he might potentially wants me to reveal what I was gonna say and self censored. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's just say it and see how many subs we lose. Maybe we'll go back down under 500. It can be a test. So tomorrow I'm kind of excited for the new release of the first ABBA album in 40 years, Voyage. Having heard some songs this, I don't know, September on YouTube, kind of being a fan of ABBA and those what the hell nationality are they and the chicks? I just like the chicks' sexy European accent, but being a child of the 70s and the 80s, I do like ABBA. So I'm excited for Voyage. Is it called Voyage? Yeah, the track that they released was it early September. The don't I listened to it probably for an hour or an hour and a half on repeat. Don't don't whatever, don't shut me down. Oh my god. It sounded like it was frickin' 82 all over again. I'm gonna be completely honest at the risk of dropping down under 500 subs. It made me cry. And I don't even care what people think. The that song and just the way it felt like it sounded like 82, it made me cry. Oh, bio, yeah, you don't have to apologize for that joke. I simply I don't know what the left stands for and the right stands for, being completely uninterested in the politics of left and right. That's all I meant. Is I don't know what left means. So I only assume Will Powell's excited for the album as well. They put out a track since on YouTube that didn't blow my socks off, but like the first two I thought were great. Well, Don't Shut Me Down I thought was the best. Oh, okay. So Media Fanatic, Physical Media Fanatic says, I love ABBA. There. Okay, from Sweden. Yeah, see, just the sexy chicks in their Swedish voice. Well, maybe they're not so sexy now, but they're the sexy Swedish accents. I quite like. So one thing I do think is pathetic with their like Tron tour is that this whole tour, this virtual tour or whatever the hell they're going to have these younger versions of themselves as they look like, ABBA meets Tron touring. I think that is like all kinds of pathetic in my opinion, but it's so cool that ABBA's putting out a record, and I'm all over that. I just hope that there's some other songs on there that are that are halfway close to as good as "Don't Shut Me Down." I don't want that to be like they're just blowing everything else out of the water and everything else being kind of okay. Will Powell, being a musician himself, says about ABBA, pop music at its best, the production and craft is amazing. Yeah, their old records from the 70s and early 80s are just like, so many of them records are like, holy shit, like I think they put out basically mostly 10-track albums, and it's just like, okay, well, what's your favorite song on it? It's like every one of the songs is my favorite. I mean, that's how great their album, a lot of their albums from the 70s and 80s were shit. I think we lost the ABBA thing. I think we lost Matt. I think Matt can't listen anymore. That's what I figured. Will Powell might agree with the Tron version of the younger digital version of Tron ABBA now, but their songwriting holds up. Right, we can agree on that. At least the songwriting. It's so cool how like "Don't Shut Me Down" was, as I say. I mean, maybe they did just write it. Maybe they did write it back in the early 80s or something and just waited till now to record it and release it. But I just loved how it sounded like a time capsule, and like it wasn't made to sound like shit that is made now, with like some kind of ghetto beats or anything like that. It sounds like something from 82, so that was really cool. It's not like they changed their sound for the 21st century. Physical Media Fanatic says, what the name of the song that made you cry? Yeah, Don't Shut Me. I think it's called Don't Shut Me Down. One of the new tracks off of ABBA's new record coming out tomorrow. So just search that on YouTube. You can hear it for free. But yeah, I mean, the reason why is just because I'm a child of the 70s and 80s and kind of just love the 70s, 80s ABBA sound. And that track, that song is just, it's a time capsule. It's just like, oh my God. It was cool to hear like a new song that sounded like a song from 40 years ago. Oh, okay. Well, we're only a year. Physical Media Fanatic was born in 77, so I'm just 1 year older. So maybe you'll like it. I think my ABBA thing chased Matt away. I had a feeling it would, but we have to be who we are. Lost my biggest supporter. All right, everyone, about approaching an hour in. We can probably go for the standard 2 hours for Huge Movie Fanatic Radio. It just occurred to me, yeah, you guys don't know. Well, I guess you do kind of know if you know what time I start. I start at noon Central Time. So, but just in case anyone's not paying attention, we're approaching an hour into the show. And why don't we go for another hour? I'd say 2 hours is a decent amount of time. Oh, Matt just tuned out. Well, I figured you might after my, what's that called? Confession. Oh, so maybe you didn't hear what I said. Might be for the best. Media Fanatic says, I loved all the Euro pop bands back in the 80s. Yeah, I'm not, I can't say I really know many more per se. I started, I think it was the early 2000s, and I started buying like used, vinyl records, and I just like, oh, here, this is a cool cover because some of their, I think the cover to Arrival is a really cool cover, just that them crammed in that old helicopter and stuff. So I'm just like, this is kind of a cool cover. Let's just buy this, and I was hooked. It's not like I'm a, you know, big connoisseur of music from that era. I just happened to stumble across them and just really liked them and just kept getting, the kept getting used vinyl of theirs. I don't even own what any of their music on CD. I just put the vinyl on CD CDs. But yeah, they're fun. They're fun to me. All right, everyone. I'd say about an hour left. I think we were up to 4 or 5 listeners at a time, which I guess is pretty good for the first show of the season. Oh, and a heads up to people that aren't in North America. I think next week, if I do a show next, well, it doesn't matter. I'll probably do a show next week, but I'm pretty sure this weekend we do our lovely, drop back an hour. So to heads up to anyone listening outside of North America next week, you have to. This is so confusing to me. You have to take an hour off my time. So if your time doesn't change over the weekend like ours does, then yeah, you do the math. We fall back an hour over the weekend, I think. So instead of starting at just take note. Take an hour off, and the start time will be an hour. It should be so easy. I get so confused with that time change shit. I'm going to. There was kind of a mini debacle this spring when that happened, so I'll probably make a really short video just warning everyone that doesn't live in the States about that as a heads up, because I felt bad in the spring when, a lot of people that weren't in the country, they showed up like an hour early or late, or I can't remember how it worked. And it's just like, oh, shoot. Yeah, the time changed in America, and it must have not have changed for you guys yet. It's just such a crock of shit. Bio says YouTube is terrible at displaying viewers. I don't even count as a viewer. Oh, how do you know? Maybe you do and someone else doesn't. Yeah, that's true. You can never believe their words or their counters. Anyone got any movie related talk to talk about? It's kind of started the show bitching, and then it went from bitching about, I don't know, random stuff to bitching about movies related stuff. So oh, another thing that I never saw that I saw for the first time is it's only because they're free with ads on Peacock, is the John Wick movies 1 through 3. And I got to tell you, I mean, the first one was kind of cool, but even halfway through the first one, like the shooting, the action scenes were kind of getting repetitive, and especially by the time you get to 2 and 3, it's just like, I think it's just my generation. I mean, I'm kind of the whole gunplay thing is kind of old hat to me, having experienced the John Woo glory years of the 90s and stuff. It's like it's kind of old hat to me, and the John Wick stuff. I mean, I can see why it's popular, but I'm not big on like the digital muzzle flashes and digital bullet impacts and digital um damage to the sets and all this stuff, which is probably going to increase exponentially after the thing, which I won't mention. But yeah, I mean, how lame is, gunfights with digital everything? It's just like, oh my God. I mean, if you compare like Bad Boys 2 to Bad Boys 3, it's just like night and day. It's like actual on-screen stuff in Bad Boys 2, and then like probably, I don't know for sure, but a lot of digital muzzle flashes, digital squibs, digital damage to the sets in Bad Boys 3. It's just like, oh my god. Oh, Biles says there's a tab with viewers? Huh. Is that on like a computer? I generally do watch YouTube on a iPad, so huh. Fanatic says, "Do you collect 4K?" Yeah, I'm actually. I'm sure. I think I made videos about this way back in the day. Um, I guess I'm. I guess I'm kind of anti 4K only because, well, you should understand this. Only being a year younger than me, only because I'm sick of. At this point, I'm just so sick of new formats that I haven't. I'm not a big 4K enthusiast because I'm just so sick of rebuying movies over and over again. And honestly, DVD would have been good enough for the rest of my life, to say nothing about Blu-ray. I mean, Blu-ray, I'd be happy to is high enough a quality for movies for the rest of my life. So it's just like, another thing is the older you get, the quicker time goes. So every time they do a new format, it just seems like it comes out even sooner than the last time they refreshed the format, and it's just like I'm just so over the new formats, honestly. I mean, I'll probably get into it in the future because I have to. By then, it'll hopefully be cheaper, and it'll probably be 8K out by then. But yeah, I'm really kind of fed up with the all of the formats because I've got some of my favorite movies on, well, let's count the formats. I mean, VHS, Laserdisc, DVD, and Blu-ray. I mean, some of my favorite movies like Friday the 13th franchise and so many others I've got now on 4 different formats, and it's just, yeah, it's getting old. But I imagine 4K looks great or whatever, but to me DVD looks great and Blu-ray looks great. Like, some people complain about my standard definition videos, and it's just like, let's because I'm a standard definition generation. Like, standard definition looks fine to me. And not only that, is I have horrible slow internet, and it'd take a day to upload, you know, an HD video. Oh, okay. So Biles says, yeah, on the computer he's watching, and they got a tab with viewers. Interesting, huh? Biles says even the camera now has digital stabilization, and it's very noticeable. It moves like 3D render. Media Fanatic says, I think physical media soon will be obsolete. I think you're right. Honestly, I'm surprised it went as long as it did, and I'm like a huge proponent to DVD because when that came out, I was kind of sick of Laserdisc and stuff. When DVD came out, I was just like, a pretty big Laserdisc user, and it was just like DVD was just the savior. And that was like the only time I was an early adopter. Like, I got into DVD basically the year it came out, and it was just, to me at the time, it was just the best thing to ever happen to movies at home. So I'm still like a huge fan of DVD, and it's really exciting to think that they're still making DVDs at this point. So that's really cool. But yeah, it is. I do worry about that, and physical media. It's just a matter of time before it's gone, and that's troubling to me. But I guess we just enjoy it as long as we got it. Media Fanatic says there is a group online. They have a channel on YouTube. They collect laser discs. That's cool. Yeah, I've showcased quite a few laser discs, and then I kind of segued to tapes because and I don't know, in a way they're easier to show. They're smaller, but it's funny because in the spring I got down a huge bunch of laser discs that I was going to show over the summer, and I don't know, I never did. So they're kind of in the way. They've been in the way all summer, and I'm thinking I got to put them back in storage. It's just like, it's just like the time goes so quick, you know. So many laser discs and tapes to showcase and bitches to movie about, movies to bitch about, review and stuff. It's amazing how quick a summer goes. You know, I had big plans in the spring, piles and piles of laser discs to show, and then didn't even get to them. Yeah, I'd agree. Media Fanatic says the only reason physical media is still relevant is because of boutique labels. Yeah, I mean, that's true. And they've really, you know, since the day I can remember back in the day of Anchor Bay in the late 90s, like they've really taken the physical media world by storm. And I like to think even after, like, I don't know, even after maybe you can't even buy them in stores anymore and Targets and stuff, like you'll still be able to get like, you know, Arrow Video Blu-rays and Criterion Blu-rays. Like hopefully after, you know, after it's kind of officially done, like you'll still be able, they'll still be making them because I think the stuff, you know, like he says, the boutique releases from the boutique labels, like, you know, Shout and Arrow Video and Vinegar Syndrome and Criterion and stuff. I think that stuff sells like crazy. So, I mean, that is a huge part of what's keeping physical media alive. Oh, another thing I was going to mention, I had a list of things I was going to talk about at the beginning of the show in case no one showed up for a while, but Matt ended up showing up in the first minute. But another thing about my channel that recently happened, and I don't know if this happened because I passed 500 subscribers or what, but I recently got this feature of, I can't remember, is it called Community tab on my channel, which, you know, formerly was, I don't know, just a place for people to leave comments or whatever. But so I've been using that. I would assume subscribers would get a notification every time I post there. I don't know how that works, but just a heads up for people that might, you know, not be subscribed or whatever, that I've now got a community tab in which I can, you know, say stuff to you guys without having to shoot a video or record something, and you can comment back on it. So just a heads up about that. Media Fanatic says music. Not exactly sure what this means. Music and video games only dream of these label companies have the same treatment as movies today, repackage the old with new packages. Yeah, a lot of the, as we all know, the big studios and Paramount and stuff just keep releasing the same movies over and over and over and over again. I'm not big into current video games, so I might not exactly understand what you meant, but that's okay. Matt's gonna head out. All right, thanks for showing up. You were with us for basically an hour and 15 minutes, so have a good one. See you next week if you show up. I'm assuming I'm going to be doing this next week because it's freezing and there's nothing else to do. Thanks for showing up to bitch. I think I pretty much covered everything I had. Ghostbusters Afterlife, the community tab. There might have been something else. I meant to jot it down, but I was too lazy. Oh, okay. Media Fanatic says because video games, physical media is almost obsolete. Yeah, I think I'm aware of that. Yeah, they're trying to really get physical games to be a thing of the past. It's like just holding on, from what I understand. Like I say, the newest console I got's a 360, and I mostly play PS2, so I'm done with upgrading gaming systems. So Bios says the notifications work for now. I'm subscribed to some channels that don't send notifications, even though I have a bell. Yeah, it's YouTube being YouTube, I guess. Well, that's good to know. So sometimes they might get notified for one of those, and sometimes they don't. It was kind of, I will admit, it was kind of disheartening. I think the first post I made on there, which is now gone because it's kind of pathetic, was who wants huge movie fanatics radio back in the fall? And I'm appreciative to the two people, but I got a whopping 2 thumbs up to that. And I'm like, okay, do I even do it again? And I'm like, screw it. I don't care if no one wants me to. I'm going to do it anyway. So I have since gotten rid of that because it didn't show, I don't know. It was kind of, didn't show much enthusiasm. Kind of in a perfect world, it would have been nice to have a few more thumbs up, but yeah, life goes on. Bio says he's had a blog for 5 years, only with only 90 subscribers. Yeah, I wish I would have kept track with this channel. I mean, chances are, the first 5 years of this channel was 90 subscribers or less. I mean, this channel has grown at, I mean, it's make a snail seem like a jackrabbit at a pace maybe of, I don't know what, at a very slow pace, which is fine. I mean, one thing I noticed this year is, and I knew this algorithm was set up this way, but if I shoot a bunch of videos on a day and, upload them steadily, like one a day throughout the week, you tend to get, you know, a pretty, decent kind of new subscribers. Like when the channel was originally made, Matt and I would get together, film a whole bunch of reviews over the course of 3 hours, and then I'd like upload them all. And then there'd be like no activity for weeks or months until we got together again to shoot videos. So there were big, huge patches of time when the channel was new, when there'd just be nothing. And then it got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I've got other things to say. I've got stuff I want to say. And, you know, I don't want to wait until Matt's available. So I just started making videos myself. But I think you definitely get more exposure if you have a kind of a constant stream. But whatever. I mean, as long it does, I'm not big on, you know, stats. As long as people are, watching and or listening and enjoying, it's a win-win. Bios says, yeah, YouTube changed the algorithm. Feels like every other YouTuber now has over 1 million subscribers. I remember back when Matt and I started the channel, I was telling him, yeah, there's channels that are just, fat, blubbery guys talking about movies and they get like tens of thousands of views. And like, if we start doing it, we'll get tens of thousands of views. And it's just like, it didn't occur to me that, like, I don't know, they had a channel for such a long time and they're probably uploading every day. And I mean, honestly, I was kind of disappointed, in the slow growth of the channel, but that's okay. I don't live for this shit. It is fun though every time you see your subscriber count grow by one. It's like, all right, and it's always like, oh, when it because just recently it went from 509 to 508, and it always makes you wonder, what did I say? All right, I'm seeing one person left. It'll be interesting if maybe not even have enough people to last 2 hours, but we're basically at an hour and 20 minutes into the show at this point with another, what does it make it, 40 minutes left if I'm going to hit 2 hours. If the chat dries up before 2 hours, I'll probably end sooner. We'll just see what happens. Back up to two listeners. Welcome. What the hell you want to talk about? Preferably movie related, but it doesn't have to be. I do like it when people, including Matt, actually say they're leaving. I think that's kind of courteous when they say they're leaving. Yeah, that's true. Biles says a lot of people get a lot of subscribers by accident if they just have one really popular video. Yeah, that's true. I mean, all you got to do is accidentally have some stupid cat video get 15 million views, and you end up with, a million subscribers based on that video. Don't get me wrong. I'm too old to really care about stats, and stats never have really been that important to me. But it is fun when you this summer I've noticed if you kind of put out steady stuff. I don't really like the word content, but a steady flow of output, you tend to get a more steady flow of subscribers. At this point, I'm kind of wondering if I'll even stay for the whole 2 hours. The chat's drying up. Yeah, Bio agrees with me that the word content sounds corporate. Yeah, I don't like when people refer to their content as content. So output. I'll refer to my output as output. My output. Media Fanatics says there are way too many channels on YouTube to get noticed. Yeah, that's another thing. And let's face it, I mean, the now Google owned YouTube is going to promote the corporate stuff, and kind of keep the little guy on the bottom, which we all understand as well. But it's kind of cool. I mean, if I did one of these shows and I had like 100 people show up in chat, and you know, the one thing I do like about being a small channel is when you do a show, you can keep up with chat. I mean, I'd feel like, I don't know. I'd like to try to get to everyone's comment, and if I had 100 listeners at a time, it'd be impossible. I mean, back at the end of the winter, I'd have up to, which was a lot for me, 11, 12 people listening at once, and keeping up with those comments was exhausting. So that's one of the benefits of having a small channel and doing shows is you can keep up with the comments. Yeah, that's a good point. Media Fanatic says corporatization promotes suppression. That's true. Just trying to think if there's anything else movie related. I don't want to spoil my review of Spit on Your Grave Deja Vu, so not much I can really say about that. I can't think of anything else. I think Criterion's doing I think they do another 50% off sale in November. I think they're not Criterion, Barnes and Noble, but that generally means you can get Criterion at 50% off Amazon as well. But honestly, I think I pretty much got all I could think of in July. So I used to be a big fan of Naked Lunch when it came out on home video, and I got the Criterion Blu-ray of that, and god damn it, that's like that's a nasty movie, isn't it? It's funny how, like, as a teenager, I wasn't really put off by it, but as an adult, I'm like, okay, that's nasty. I was gonna review it, but it's almost kind of grossed me out so much I don't want to talk about it. But not the biggest Cronenberg fan. I think my favorite of his that I've seen might be Scanners. Yeah, Bio says it's mostly sponsors who are being promoted. Yeah, it's all just politics. Does Media Fanatic, did you try to say you're excited for what's your your ninja from Vinegar Syndrome? I don't know what that means. Is it a movie? You're excited for Your Ninja? Is that a movie? Oh, okay. Well, congratulations. I've never heard of it. Is it like some 70s, 80s exploitation ninja schlock? New York Ninja. Oh, New York Ninja. Wow, you screwed up that comment. Okay, New York Ninja. Sounds like 70s or 80s ninja schlock, which sounds fun. I'm a big fan of Revenge of the Ninja and American Ninja. Ninja 3 is pretty cool. I never really got into Enter the Ninja. The beginning and the end are fun, but like the middle is like boring. Like there's no ninja stuff. The middle is boring. So I'm more of a fan of. I mean, I grew up with Revenge of the Ninja and American Ninja, and I didn't see Enter the Ninja until later. But I still think it's the least interesting one of the three. Except it is fun to see Christopher George as the bad guy. Bios says, "Do you have any favorite TV shows?" Because of my age, I actually just recently got the. We've been buying them like one season at a time, but then because they were on sale on Amazon, I bought the rest of the series. I'm a big fan of Quincy Emmy just because of my age. I think Jack Klugman is great. I like Quincy Emmy. I mean, any of the TV shows I'm going to name are going to be things from the 70s or the 80s. Fantasy Island, the original series, is fun, and I grew up with that. But nothing like current. I guess if you want to talk current, the Flash show was pretty cool. I've been getting those on Blu-ray and when they go on sale. I've been getting, Arrow was kind of cool if you want to talk current. Obviously, because of my age and stuff, I mean, like Star Trek Next Generation. I tried really hard to get into Deep Space Nine, but to me, that's just boring. And I just recently discovered Voyager, which I bought the entire series on DVD off eBay. And to me, Voyager is so much superior to Deep Space Nine. I have no idea how Deep Space Nine went 7 seasons. But that's a summary. Oh, things like Beth and I just recently got the complete series on DVD of MASH. That's another thing that I grew up with, MASH, Cheers, TV shows like that. Knight Rider. Mill Creek put out an amazing complete collection of Knight Rider on Blu-ray. So those are some of the TV shows I can think of. Oh, okay. So Bio's favorite old TV show is Doctor Who. Yeah, I can remember seeing some of that in the 80s. The only thing, I never really got crazy into it, but I did remember thinking the robot dog or whatever was cool. I think my cousin liked it, but I guess at the time, I mean, it's not a big deal for me now, but at the time, I think the British aspect of it as a kid put me off. Like, these aren't American, I don't know. These aren't Americans. I don't know. But that's cool. I know a lot of people are huge Doctor Who fans, and it seems like there's a never-ending plethora of variations and stuff. And my understanding is that like so many things in recent years, they like ruined Doctor Who. Is that true? Did they ruin Doctor Who or whatever in recent years? Oh, I'm not ashamed to admit it. It's mostly because of my age. I mean, I even like Murder She Wrote. It's kind of fun. Airwolf, obviously, things like that. But it's mostly stuff from my childhood that I'm into, not so much stuff now. So Bio says it really depends on the season. There are some very neutral seasons and some that are head and shoulders above the other shows. Okay, yeah, but from what I understand, I mean, there's just a lot of Doctor Who and a lot of different people playing the part and stuff like that. It's to someone who's not doesn't know much about it, it'd almost be like very daunting to try to get into it at this point. So when did that start? In the 70s, mid to late 70s? Oh, maybe 60s. He says seasons from the 60s or 60 are awesome. Okay, maybe it started in the 60s. Yeah, I would imagine the early stuff would be the best and probably just gets worse over time or something. All right, everyone. Currently at 31 minutes or an hour and 31 minutes into the show. So if the trickle can keep trickling enough for the next 29 minutes, maybe we can go 29 more minutes. We shall see. At this point, physical media fanatic and bio, like I say, we'll call them bio, are the ones keeping the chat going. Oh, wow. Looks like Doctor Who started in 63. That's crazy. Physical media fanatic says, I never saw Naked Lunch. You think worth owning? No, not really. I don't know. If you're familiar with David Cronenberg, obviously it's got that, you know, I guess, quote unquote, risque Cronenberg aspect to it. Maybe a little more risque than a lot of his movies up until the point. Um, the thing is, if you like Peter Weller, I mean, and period movies, that's the thing that I liked about it as a teenager was Peter Weller. It's like a movie that takes place in the 40s. And, who doesn't like God? What's her name? Judy Davis? Is that it? So early '90s Peter Weller is fun, but and that guy from Alien, Ian Holm. The movie, I don't know. As an adult, and seeing it for the first time in decades, I was just kind of, I don't know, kind of put off by it. So I'd try to see it for free if possible, and maybe not so much of a blind buy, in my opinion. Bio says seasons from the 70s seems to be considered the best. Yeah, that's probably what the bits that I saw in the early 80s, I would imagine. When the show went to color, he says it was black and white originally, I see. Yeah, kind of like Gilligan's Island was originally black and white. So, yeah, my opinion would be not to blind buy Naked Lunch. Of course, it's probably only $20 now, Criterion, but yeah, try to see it for free first. Just kind of one of those movies that it depends on how much you can take. Like, I don't know. I guess I found just some of the naked phallic slime. I don't know. As an adult, for some reason, it put me off a lot more than it did when I was 15, or I think I was 15 or 16 when I saw it, when it came out on video. Media Fanatic says, I was about to run out to Barnes & Noble for a Criterion 50% off sale. Oh, and then I stopped you? Damn it. I hope I didn't keep you from finding gems. I'm sure you can still find stuff. It was kind of disappointing in July. It seemed like I asked the guy too. I'm like, okay, so when a lot of this stuff sells out in July, do you like try to keep it like restocked for the month of July, or just it's gone? So I was forced to resort to buying some stuff on Amazon. I hate to say. So Bio says the last two seasons are wicked. I'm assuming we're talking about Doctor Who. Wicked good? That's surprising that, TV show nowadays would be good. Yeah, I can't I don't know if there's anything left on Criterion that I even want. I was almost hard to find stuff in July. I don't know if there's anything left I really want. Oh, okay. So Wicked Bad then? Because he's saying pure political correctness. Yeah, which means no fun, no creativity, no enjoyment, just sterile, nasty nothingness. Media Fanatic only wants Once Upon a Time in China, the complete films from Criterion this year. Okay, well, hopefully you can get that 50% off. Last year I think it was November, I got the Godzilla collection, which was really daunting. It took like all winter to get through it. It'd be nice if they did a another one of those for the the 80s movies and 90s movies. Oh, okay. Biles says Doctor Who turned into propaganda. Well, that's surprising. It's interesting. I don't know if you guys ever commented on any of my videos or output? It's interesting how sometimes I see people that show up and chat on the shows that I've never necessarily or can't remember seeing comment on any of the videos, but that's okay. That's cool. Definitely, definitely appreciate participation in the chat. That's what the show is for. Because I don't really have 2 hours worth to come on and say um, without interacting with people. Oh, okay. So Bio hasn't commented yet. That's okay. Just curious. Oh, okay. Either with same with Media Fanatic doesn't comment on videos. That's okay. Are you gonna head out to try to get some criterions after the show, or maybe some other day? Was that? I wonder if that's going all of November. One would imagine. Bio's been subscribed for about 2 months. Thank you very much. And welcome. I guess I can officially welcome you. Media Fanatic says if I don't have anything interesting to say, I don't. Makes sense. He's gonna probably head out after the show and try to get some criterions at 50% off. Definitely the time to buy them. Yeah, last year I got Elephant Man, not having seen that for a long time, and I kind of regretted it when I saw it. I'm like, yeah, this is depressing. I'm never going to want to watch this again, but whatever. Ah. Media Fanatic says, yes, sale goes all of November. Bio says, thank you. No, thank you. It's the thank you wars. Thank you times two. Anyone seen Doctor Strangelove? Don't say you're more sorry than I am. I'm capable of being just as sorry as you are. So we're both sorry, all right? All right. Yeah, Media Fanatic says Amazon is matching Barnes and Noble, by the way. Yep, that's always fun. That's what I had to resort to in July when Barnes and Noble sold out of some stuff I wanted. God, I still never watched. I got Criterion Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I never even watched it yet. I had to get in July. Was it in July? It must have been July. I had to order whatchamacallit. I've never talked about it. I had to order there's this big reputation around why can't I think of the title? Shit. It's a film noir. Ah, fuck. Oh well. Anyway, I had to order that on Amazon because they were sold out on Barnes& and Noble. Oh, Kiss Me Deadly. Yeah, I was kinda disappointed, like, Kiss Me Deadly started really strong for me, but it's to me, it's longer than it needs to be. But, Ralph Meeker is great in that. But in my opinion, Kiss Me Deadly is longer than it needs to be. I always wonder when a movie, of course, it's all personal preference and opinion, but it always makes you wonder when a movie just, you know, goes on and on and on. It's like, God, it could have ended 20 minutes ago, but it's just personal preference. All right, everyone, just approaching 1 hour and 41 minutes, so about 19 minutes of show left. We can probably manage to do another 19 minutes with this slow, much appreciated trickle of interaction with, wish I could pronounce that name, Bio Tigano and physical media fanatic. Bio says Doctor Who, by the way, has probably the most over the top concepts I've seen in science fiction. So I'm assuming we're saying in a good way. Good way over the top. If so, that's cool. Yeah, I can't say I'm probably gonna get into it, but I'm glad you enjoy it. Yeah, for a while there on Amazon, Space 1999 was free, and I think I only did the first episode of that show. That was I can remember it being both kind of cool and not cool at the same time, but my intention was to watch more of it, but then it went from, free on Prime to not free. So I'm like, well, there goes that. But because I can remember, Space 1999 being like some popular show or something like that. But I don't know. I guess it didn't blow my ass off. But I want to say like the opening credit scene sequence was cool or something. Bio says yes. I love how I say a couple paragraphs and someone says yes. That's okay. That's the one thing that is cool about streaming is to just see stuff, try stuff out, see stuff for free, see if you like it enough to buy it on physical. That's kind of that's kind of what I use it for. Can we do another 15 minutes? We'll give it a shot as I stretch. Oh, maybe he says yes in regards to my question of over the maybe good over the top concepts in a good way is maybe what he meant by yes, because I think he continues on. He says there's an arc about an alien intelligence that can telepathically control plastic and I don't know what if this is a real word or what, re-solilocate mannequins in clothing stores that are starting to take over the city. Yeah, I can. Wasn't there like in Twilight Zone about mannequins that may or may not be alive? That stuff like that's cool. I can remember being at a department store with my dad, going before I never knew anything about that episode or anything like that. Like, how cool would a movie be about mannequins that come alive at night? Of course, I think I'd already seen the movie with Kim Cattrall in the '80s, but I meant in a more of a thriller slash horror movie aspect. Creepy, shadows, creepy mannequins. Tourist Trap kind of did. I mean, living mannequins to a certain extent. I'm a huge fan of Tourist Trap. Yeah, that sounds like that show's got some pretty cool out there ideas. Media Fanatics heading out. Thank you for the content. Oh, I think he made a joke. Thank you for the output. You're welcome. Well, thank you for watching the output. Good luck on your criterion searching. Thanks for showing up also. Does Bio got what it takes to keep the show going for another 15, 14 minutes? It's all on you. Bio watches Doctor Who because the plot there borders on horror. Okay, that's kind of cool. I don't know. Maybe that almost sounds familiar to me. Maybe that's the reason why I didn't really like it as a kid. I was a pussy as a kid. Like, we're talking single digits, so it's understandable. Because in the early 80s, I was, not even 10 yet or whatever. So maybe the, whatever Doctor Who I saw in the early 80s or mid 80s, maybe was a little too creepy for the kid me at the time. So maybe that's why it kind of creeped me out. You know what? I also didn't really love because I mean, aren't the early ones like in the 70s and the 80s, like they're just shot on like just video. So I also didn't like the look. Even as a really young kid, I was like aware of the cheap kind of video look to it, which I wouldn't have a problem with now, but as a kid it was kind of off-putting. Bio says the arch with the mannequins especially. It must mean the story. Oh, arc. He must mean the story arc with the mannequins episode. Okay. He says many of the old plots there are free adaptations of Lovecraft. Oh, okay. I see. Getting close to T minus 10 minutes. I figured the turnout for the first show of the season wouldn't be huge. I think we got up to, or at least from what YouTube is willing to reveal to us, I think we got up to 4 listeners at a time, possibly 5. I don't know. Which wasn't too bad for the first show of the season. Bio says, am I the only one here? That's what I'm seeing. I'm just seeing a 1 on the counter, but we never know. You're definitely the only one participating. I guess we lost Physical Media Fanatic. He's got to get to Barnes and Noble before they close. Bio asks, what was the all-time record here? I want to say like mid to late winter. It was 12 or 13, which was pretty good for me. Such a small channel. And I got to tell you, keeping up with chat was, you can go back and still watch those. Keeping up with chat was quite a chore with the, with, over 10 people talking about completely different things. Bio has too much time to spare. Okay. T minus 10 minutes of show left and counting. So, yeah, this was kind of cool. I got burnt out at the end of winter, but this was kind of cool. I wasn't sure whether I was going to, stop by next week or not. But I'd say at this point, if all goes well, I can stop by next Thursday, starting once again at noon for anyone that might want to show up that didn't get a chance to this week or that wants to in addition to this week. But in the cold months, I mean, a week goes really slow, so I can probably stop by next week and do it all again. Try to grow our listener numbers once again. But once again, like when you do grow them, then the chat gets out of control. So it's like, I guess there's good and bads to all things. Bio says, why is there a black cube in the video? Are you talking about just a black screen? That's because I figure if you're doing a radio show, there's generally no image to go along with it. Plus, I don't want to comb my hair and get all spiffed up for radio shows. I know most people do, webcam and stuff. I just figured this would be a cool way to put out output without combing my hair and getting dressed up. So you could just do a YouTube radio show, which would be audio only. If that answers the question. Is that the black cube you're referring to? Because obviously I'm probably the only one that has, does live streams and they don't have anything on the screen. So that's because this is audio. This is meant for anyone to just listen to on commutes or put on onto their Bluetooth speaker when they're doing chores around the house or just have on in the background. So, and plus mainly so I don't have to comb my hair and get all spiffied up like I do when I do videos. I get so spiffied up, as you can tell. Bio says, yes, that's the explanation why. It's radio, and in the good old days before internet, radio was sound only. Oh, okay. He says maybe do a cover of some kind. What do you mean? Like just have artwork right there? Yeah, see, that would require more work. I mean, I do I have the thumbnail of the huge movie fanatics radio logo. Yeah, I see what you mean, but then I think I gotta stream through a completely different program to get to put up an image on there. It's just this is a low I don't know, low rent channel. But I appreciate the whatchamacallit, what's it called? Advice or the recommendation. But this is meant to be put on your Bluetooth speaker and be in the background while you're doing dishes, washing clothes, taking a bath, or lounging around. It's not meant to be watched. That's how I do a lot of YouTube videos. Like, I don't watch them. I'll just have them on a Bluetooth speaker and I'll just listen to them. Oh, I appreciate that. Bio says he can help with the design. I appreciate that, but no need. I'm just my staple has so far been the black screen, and I kind of like it. So I think moving forward, I'll go black screen. They matter. Appreciate the what's it called? The offer, though. I'm a minimalist. The black screen is fine for me. People, you're not supposed to be watching Huge Movie Fanatic Radio. You're supposed to be listening to it. That's okay. I've had people ask that before. Why is the screen black? They're so used to people sitting in front of, the camera with the microphone in the shot. For the record, I don't like videos where the microphone's in the shot. It's just like, Okay, I think Bio got an idea of the. He says I can tell from the avatar. I don't know what that means. But I do make an effort at least to put that little screenshot or the whatever it's called thumbnail for the show, which is the logo that I whipped up. About 5 minutes of show left. I was going to say everyone, but there might be people listening after the fact. Oh, okay. Profile pic. Yeah, a lot of people ask what that is. They got to look at it really close to see that it's a bunch of sticks on leaves that spell out HMF, which is the acronym for Huge Movie Fanatics. That kind of reflects my love of the outdoors and the natural world and nature. I was like, how cool would it be to make an HMF out of sticks and put them on a pile of leaves? So that's what that is. I realize you really can't tell what it is unless you like zoom in on it or something, but that's how it works out. It gives someone initiative to investigate it more closely. Bio says very punk. Yeah, there you go. That's a good way to think of it. Yeah. Non-industrial, using nature to be my logo. I originally tried to do like in the cold winter months, I tried to like, you know, carve out in a frozen snowbank like HMF. It just looked stupid. Like I was gonna do that like during the winter months, have it be the thing, and it didn't come out at all like I'd hoped. So I just kept the sticks all year. Oh, I see. Yeah, Bio says I thought I had something wrong with the video the first time I saw a black screen. Yeah, that's understandable. As I said, I would imagine I'm the only one who does this with black screen, but I guess that kind of makes this show unique. You're not the first one who asked where's the image, because I know that these days, even on YouTube and online and stuff, even if it is a radio show, usually you can still see them sitting in front of their microphone in the shot. But as I said, I'm a child of the 70s and 80s, and back then radio was sound only. So I know it's kind of hard for the newer generation to grasp. I can't remember if you're the one born in 77 or if that was the other guy. That's exactly it. Bio says nonconformitism. Exactly. Do something different. And I get sick of seeing all them people and their HD video sitting in front of the mic. Oh, okay. That must be the other guy. That was 77. I can understand these questions more now coming from Bio. He was born in 99. Holy shit. Wow. I'm surprised you're interested in anything I have to say. Thank you. That's kind of a compliment. The questions are much more understandable now. As we're approaching our last minute of the show, I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone that showed up, including you. Feel old? Holy shit. Just wait until you get to be 44. Oh man. Yeah, I can remember being in our early 20s and feeling old. That was so pathetic to look back on. Oh my God. Try to enjoy your youth because trust me, you're not old yet. Try to enjoy that youth. All right, T minus 60 seconds. You're still 16? You mean at heart? I mean, I'm still 14 as far as I'm concerned. Is that what you mean? Like at heart? 16 at heart? Yeah, no, that's fine. I've been 14 for ever since I was 14, in my opinion. So that you can stick with that. That keeps you young. That's really cool. 20 something and you identify as 16. I hear you. I identify as 14. So I guess that pretty much does it for this show. Thank you very much for showing up, and feel free to stop on by next week if you want to. Same bat time, same bat whatever YouTube channel. Have a good week, and I've got 10 years of output on this channel for you to enjoy if you want to do so. So we'll catch you next time. Thanks for showing up, Bio. Thanks for the good luck, and good luck to yourself. We'll see you next time.